Hey, hi all. Good afternoon.
Yeah. Good evening, all. Uh, can you please confirm me? Are you able to listen to my voice?
Yes, Kash.
Yes, yes.
Right, right. Thank you. Yeah, we'll wait for another 3 minutes. At 5 exactly, we'll start the session. Good evening, all. Good evening once again. Can you please confirm me one more time? Are you able to see the screen and is my voice audible properly to everyone?
Yeah, yes, Kiran.
Right, right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Right. So good evening, all. My name is Castro Kiran, and this session is all about batch 6 of Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, and Terraform online training. So in this session, I'll be mostly focusing on the syllabus that is related to this particular batch, related to Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, and Terraform, including the projects, whatever that are going to be covered as part of this training program. That outline also I'll be providing you. And then the registration details in order to attend the live sessions, that also will be discussed in this session. And finally, I'll be taking your questions, and to your questions, I'll be giving you the response so that whatever questions that you may have regarding to this particular training, you may be you are free to ask the questions, and I'll be giving you the responses for that. So these are the basic details that I'm going to cover. But before talking about all of these things, if anyone of you haven't joined the WhatsApp group where you will be getting to know about the details of this particular training, so I want you to scan the QR code which is visible on the screen, and I request you to join in this WhatsApp group, because this particular WhatsApp group is specifically dedicated to give the information about this particular training program, that is batch 6 of Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, and Terraform. So coming to the previous batch, which is batch 5, in batch 5, I have included Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes only. Terraform was not included. So when I have uploaded the videos onto YouTube, or when I was taking the live sessions for batch 5, they have also asked to include the Terraform as well. Along with Terraform, some of the students has even asked to include Ansible, where Terraform and Ansible are more like an good tools that you need to have an idea. So that's the primary reason why I have included Terraform specifically for this batch. For the previous 5 batches which I have completed, I was only teaching about Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes. Terraform was not included. So this is the first time I'm including Terraform, and specifically for batch 6 alone, I'm giving the Terraform. And with every new batch, obviously, I'll be adding up new tools. Suppose, let's say GitHub Actions, Bitbucket, GitLab. So these Python for DevOps engineers, these kind of tools also I'll be adding, but with every new batch that I'll be adding it up. Okay, so that is about the basic information about this particular training. Before I talk about the course content, syllabus, and all these details, I would like to show few details about the batch 5. So this is actually the batch 5 sheet where I have shared the complete links. You can see on the top batch 5, Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes. There is no Terraform for batch 5, but Terraform was discussed at the later stage. But when the batch 5 was announcing, it was announced only for Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes. So the reason why I'm showing this particular sheet, the Excel sheet, which is visible on the screen, is to just get you an idea that how much amount of time we are going to spend on each and every tool. So you can see for batch 5, I have spent almost 14 hours on Jenkins, 13 hours on Docker, almost 19 or 18 hours of on Kubernetes. So a total of almost 45 hours of content was discussed only for Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes. So by seeing this itself, you might get an idea that how much deep I'm going to talk about all of these 3 tools before I talk about the curriculum aspect. However, curriculum will be discussed now, but I just wanted to show you this one. And you can also see there are different sheet 1 and sheet 2 is there. So you can see the day-wise sheets will also be discussed. You can see from the day 1. Okay, from the day 1. So this was again for the previous batch only, from the day one till to the end. What are all the topics that were covered? Everything in detail. This kind of sheet will be shared with all of you, those who are registering for batch 6. And Terraform also obviously will be included. And you can also see assignments will also be provided. It can be a weekly assignments. It can be a 3 days once kind of assignments. So for each and every tool, assignments will be provided. A particular notes will be provided for that things. You can see every details about the batch 5. So the reason why I'm concentrating on this particular sheet is that just to have you an idea about how my training focuses on, or how the concepts will be discussed. So that's the intention of this particular thing. And as I said, this particular training, I'll be focusing on Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, and Terraform. Okay, so let me first discuss the course content. But before talking about the course content, let me talk about the prerequisites that are required in order to join this training program. Okay, prerequisites to join this training program. Prerequisites. So in order to join this training program, do you need to have any knowledge on the existing tools? I would say it is required. Okay, I would say it is required. So what kind of knowledge you should have an idea about? The first one is you should have a basic idea about AWS cloud, because whatever the modules, that is Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, and Terraform that I'm going to talk, I'll be focusing on the AWS cloud only. I'm not going to touch any of the other clouds. I'll be talking everything related to the AWS cloud itself. So in the AWS cloud, you should have a basic idea about IAM service, EC2 service, S3 service, okay, VPC service. Like these, if you have a basic idea about these things, like launching an EC2 instance, creating an S3 bucket, creating an IAM role, creating an IAM user, generating the access keys and secret keys, creating a VPC, custom VPC, public subnets, private subnets. If you have a fundamental knowledge about AWS cloud, then without any doubt, you can join this training program. You don't need to have an in-depth knowledge, just a basic idea is more than sufficient. That's one thing. The second thing is you should have a fundamental knowledge on Linux commands as well, because as you already are aware of that, whatever things that you are going to focus on, everything will be dependent on Linux commands on. Okay, because we are not going to work with the console, because when you work with Docker, Kubernetes, and Terraform, Jenkins, obviously, it has user interface. But when you work with Docker, Kubernetes, and Terraform, even Jenkins as well, you should have the basic idea about how to create a directory, how to give the permissions, how to change the permissions, how to change the ownership, how to create a file. If you have these basic knowledge about the Linux commands, then again, you are perfectly good to join this training program. And the third most important thing is that you should have your own laptop or your own desktop. The reason why I'm telling about that this particular thing is on daily basis, you will be listening to the sessions and you will be practicing them, and you will also be getting the tasks as well with respect to each and every tool, so that you should be able to practice. So without laptop or desktop, I don't think you will be able to practice. You may be able to listen the sessions and you may be able to follow up the sessions. But if you want to practice, you should have a laptop. Okay, you should have a laptop. And the fourth and the most important thing is you should have an AWS account. You should have an AWS account. At least the basic account if you have, that is, I mean, the free tier account if you have, that is more than sufficient to join this training program. So these are the basic things or basic essentials that are required for you in order to join this training program. So I hope I am clear with these things. So now let's talk about the course content. What are all the things that I'm going to discuss as part of this training program? So first, let's focus on what are all the things that I'm going to focus in Jenkins module. Okay, so in the Jenkins module, firstly, what we'll try to understand is we'll try to focus on introduction to this is again. Yeah, introduction to CI and CD. What is meant by continuous integration? What is meant by continuous delivery? What is meant by continuous deployment? And then we'll be talking about what are the different CI and CD tools that we have. As of now, maybe you are aware of Jenkins only, but there are other tools that are available in the market, again, which we don't prefer on a large scale, but it's good to have an idea about what are the different CI/CD tools that we have. For example, GitHub Actions, Circle CI, like this, we have different CI/CD tools. So that's something, again, which you are going to understand. And then we are also going to talk about a brief introduction towards Jenkins. Okay, brief introduction to Jenkins. We'll understand why Jenkins is required, how Jenkins is used in the real-time scenarios, how people will work. Let's say, as a fresher, how will you work on Jenkins? As an experienced candidate, how will you work on Jenkins? At an admin level, how will you work on Jenkins? So that basic details you are going to get to know. And then we'll be talking about how to install Jenkins on Linux, that is Amazon Linux, and also on Ubuntu servers. Okay, that's something which we are going to focus. And then we'll be talking about the overview of the dashboard. Okay, Jenkins dashboard overview. Because I don't know how many of you are aware of this one. Jenkins has changed its user interface. The dashboard, the UI which you see when you log into the Jenkins, it has changed. Like I think that update came some 1 month or 20-25 days back itself. So as per the latest UI, you are going to learn the things because we are not going to use the old UI. So the latest UI we are going to learn, and there are some additions that it has made, the Jenkins has made. So those things also we are going to explore. And then we are going to talk about the Jenkins jobs. So specifically, we are going to focus on the freestyle jobs, the pipeline jobs, okay, and also what is meant by multi-branch pipeline. All these things we are going to focus as part of Jenkins jobs. Okay, in freestyle, again, we are going to learn about what is meant by build periodically, GitHub hook trigger, how to configure a public repository or public GitHub repository to the Jenkins, how to configure a private GitHub repository to the Jenkins, how to execute a shell files, what is meant by poll SCM, build periodically. All of these things we are going to focus in the Jenkins job, in-depth content. Okay, and then we are also going to do a couple of other things related to Jenkins. That is, we will be talking about what is meant by master and slave architecture in Jenkins. Okay, we'll be understanding master and slave architecture, why it is used, and under what situations we'll go with master and slave architecture. Those things also we'll be discussing, and we'll be talking about a concept called RBAC, role-based access control. So which is very, very important. That is at an admin level. So as I said, this particular training program will cover everything from the beginning level to the advanced level. So whatever knowledge that I'm going to provide as part of this training program, it will be at the level of 3 years experience candidate. That is my guarantee, and that is my assurance from my end to all of you. So whatever knowledge that I'm going to share, it will be at a level of whatever knowledge that 3 years experience candidate is having. That is the same level of knowledge which I'll also be giving it to you, and you will be getting it from my end as well. Okay, that is about RBAC. And then we'll be talking about Jenkins backup, or you can also call it as disaster recovery. So what if Jenkins, by some chance it got failed, or the EC2 instance where Jenkins is running, it got the EC2 instance got terminated accidentally or incidentally. So how will you get to know, or how will you recover the Jenkins? Because we know Jenkins is the most important tool in your DevOps engineer role in the real-time situations. So it's very much important to have an idea about what is meant by disaster recovery, or how will you recover Jenkins, or how will you take the backup of Jenkins. And in this process, you'll also be getting to know how to reset the Jenkins admin password, Okay, how to get the notifications. Okay, so let's say I want to get an email notifications using Jenkins, a Slack notifications using Jenkins. So those things also we'll be focusing on. Okay. So here I'm just giving you the overview of the things what I'm going to cover, but don't think only these things will be discussed. I'm just giving it on a plain level. In-depth content will be discussed. As you have already seen, you can see almost 13 hours I have spent, 14 hours I have spent on Jenkins. So in 14 hours, we'll be talking everything related to the fundamentals till to the end. That's my guarantee. And along with these things, we'll also be doing some projects as well, which are related to Jenkins, because only when we do the projects, then only we'll understand how to integrate one tool with another tool. So that's the intention why we are going to focus on the projects as well. So here we'll be doing the first project related to the freestyle project. Okay, freestyle project. And then we'll be doing two pipeline projects. Okay, two pipeline projects where we are going to deploy, let's say, Netflix clone application, Hotstar clone application, or even Amazon Prime application. So these things we'll be focusing on. The pipeline project 2, pipeline project 3. So here we'll be focusing on Netflix. Okay, let us not go into the details of that. So 4 projects will be discussed by the end of your Jenkins. And these 4 projects covers integration of multiple tools. Okay, integration of multiple tools. So that's something which you are going to get to know in the Jenkins. And coming to the next one, which is Docker. In Docker, you are going to learn multiple things. So let me list out different things related to Docker. That's again very, very important to work with. So here we will get to know what is Docker and a brief introduction towards Docker, Docker workflow, and then installation of Docker. Okay, installation of Docker both on Linux instances, Ubuntu instances. Okay, and then we'll be talking about how to write a custom Docker file. Okay, what is meant by Docker images? These things also will be focusing Docker images, Docker containers, and then writing a Docker file. So how will you write a custom Docker file? How will you build a custom container using the custom Docker image, which is generated by a custom Docker file? So all these things will be discussed, and then we'll be talking about how to access the containers. So once you create a Docker container, how will you access them? How will you share the data from the container to the EC2 instance, from the EC2 instance to the container? How to copy the files from the local system to the container? How to create the images using the existing container? How to push the images to the Docker hub? That is also something which you are going to learn. Pushing the images to Docker hub or Docker registry, you can also call. And then once you push the images, how to get those images and how to build the containers from the images which are available on the Docker hub. How to get the default images which are available in the Docker hub. How to create the containers using the default images. And we'll be talking about port mapping. What is meant by port mapping? How will we do port mapping? What are the things that you need to have an idea when you're working with port mapping? And we'll be talking about Docker volumes. What are the different types of Docker volumes that we have? Why Docker volumes are helpful? What is meant by stateless applications, stateful applications? And when you work with Docker, are you going to work with a monolithic architecture or a microservice architecture? So in order to better understand this monolithic and microservice architecture, we'll be talking about Docker Compose. Okay, in Docker Compose, we'll understand how to deploy a microservices based application using the Docker Compose. And then we'll be talking about the networking part in Docker. What is meant by Docker networking? What are the different types of networking drivers that we have? How do we work with networking components in Docker? What are the different types of network drivers and what is their importance? And then we'll be focusing on a Docker Swarm as well. What is meant by Docker Swarm? What are the advantages, disadvantages? how to use load balancer by using Docker. Technically, we don't have the direct load balancer concept in Docker, but here I'm going to show you how to use the load balancer in the Docker, specifically Nginx load balancer we are going to use, and we are going to deploy a Python-based application. In detail syllabus I'll be showing you in some time, but here I'm just providing you the overview. And then we'll be talking about the managing secrets in Docker, which is very, very important at admin level, managing secrets in Docker. And we'll be seeing Docker port trainer as well, which is the UI for Docker, which is again very, very important. And we'll be also seeing the types of Docker base images. Okay, this is again most commonly used thing, but people often neglect this one because we don't have an eye on the types of Docker base images. Docker images is different, base image is different. Suppose let's say when I write a Docker file, we'll write from Ubuntu, from Tomcat. That's what we'll write. Those who have an idea, but those who don't have an idea, it's fine, no issues with that. So there, when you take the base image, okay, we have different types. One is called as Alpine, and the other one is called as a Slim. The other one is normal, distroless. Like this, we have different types of base images of Docker. So we'll understand what is Alpine, what is Slim, what is normal, what is distroless, how they are used, why they are used, in which situation, what type of base image you have to use. All those things we'll be focusing on. And then we'll be also talking about the life cycle of a container and an image. Container and image, that's also something which we'll be focusing on. And we'll be focusing on multi-stage builds in Dockerfile, which is again very, very important, not so commonly used, but it's good to have an idea about multi-stage builds using Dockerfile. Okay, and we'll also be talking about private registry setup. Okay, private registry setup. So how to set up a private registry, how to pull the images from the Docker Hub private registry, and how to configure that in the Jenkins. That is also something which you are going to learn. So these are the main concepts that we are going to focus in Docker. Apart from these, in Docker, we are also going to do some of the projects as well. So let me list out the projects that we are going to do in Docker. So the first project that we are going to do is we are going to deploy, or let me keep it in this way, Dockerizing Java application. Okay, Dockerizing Java application, Dockerizing Spring Boot Java application. I'll just keep it as Spring SB. SB represents Spring Boot Java application. And you're also getting to know how to Dockerize a Python application, Dockerizing Python application, Dockerizing Node.js application, Node.js application. So like this, we are going to do the Dockerization or the containerization of different applications. And then we'll also be doing some projects related to Docker Compose as well. So Docker Compose, I'll just keep it as project 1. And we'll be doing one more project in Docker Compose where we are going to deploy a microservices application. Okay, Paytm clone application we are going to see. And then we'll do one more project which is related to Docker Compose only, but this is something which is related to the load balancer. Okay, technically in Docker, we don't have a load balancer, but I'll be showing you how to have the load balancer in the Docker. Okay, so that the load will be distributed equally to all the containers where my application is running. So here, the load balancer related concept, we'll be doing 2 projects. So I'll just keep it as one project here, but technically we are going to do 2 projects and both will be the Python based projects only. So we'll see that how to work with all of these things. So this is about the Docker and its related projects. Up to here, any questions for anyone that you may want to ask? Any questions for anyone? Up to here, any questions for anyone? Am I clear up to here?
Hi, Kiran. This is Venkat here.
Yeah.
Can you explain .NET projects as well? .NET.
Yeah, we'll be
kind of
doing
project.
as part of Docker tool, we'll be doing a .NET project also.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me keep that also. Right. So before we talk about the next tool, okay. So the next tool that we are going to learn is Kubernetes. So this is the same order that I'm going to follow even in the live sessions also. First, we'll complete Jenkins, then we'll go to Docker, and then we'll integrate Jenkins with Docker. Okay, we'll integrate Jenkins with Docker so that you'll get a complete idea about how to integrate Jenkins with Docker. Jenkins with Docker Compose. We'll be doing all these things. And here we'll be doing a 2-tier project as well as the 3-tier project as well. Okay. So we'll have the front end, we'll have the back end, we'll have the database, and whatever the application that you are accessing or whatever the data that you are inserting in the application, that data should be stored in a database. So I'll be using MySQL database or MongoDB database, anything. And we'll be seeing how to access the database, and we'll be verifying how the data is going to come into the database from the application. So you'll be establishing that connection between the front end of the application to the database of the application. Okay, so that is about the Docker concept. And coming to the next one, which is Kubernetes part, which is very, very important. So we'll be seeing a brief introduction to Kubernetes, and we'll be talking about Kubernetes architecture, and then we'll be setting up the Kubernetes cluster, setting up Kubernetes clusters. And here we are going to see how to set up the clusters in different ways. We have the self-managed Kubernetes cluster. We have cloud-managed Kubernetes cluster. That is, if you talk about EKS, if you talk about AWS cloud, in AWS, we have EKS service, Elastic Kubernetes service. So I'll be showing about how to set up the KOps cluster, Kubedium cluster, EKS cluster as well. So all the 3 clusters you are going to see as part of this training program. Kubedium, KOps, they both are almost same. So there is no much difference between them. So either Kubedium or KOps and EKS. So 2 clusters I'll be showing you how to set up. And we'll be working with those clusters only when we are working with the EKS cluster or Kubedium cluster. And then we'll be understanding the YML file. Okay, YML, what is meant by YML, how to write the YML files in Kubernetes, what is the syntax, all these details will be discussed in the YML concept. And then we'll be talking about the Kubernetes objects or Kubernetes resources. We'll be seeing how to create the Kubernetes objects or the Kubernetes resources, both in an imperative way and also in a declarative way as well, both by using commands and also by using YML files. So every Kubernetes object that I'm going to talk, I'll be showing in both approaches, imperative approach as well as declarative approach. Suppose, let's say I want to create a pod. Now, when you create a pod, you can create a pod directly by using a command. And you can also create the pod using YML file. So we'll be understanding the difference between creating the pod or creating a Kubernetes resource in an imperative way and declarative way. And I'll also be letting you know which is the most commonly used approach in the real-time scenarios whenever you want to create any Kubernetes resources. And then we'll be talking about a single container pod and multi-container pod. Okay. And we'll also be focusing on init containers, sidecar containers, ambassador. These kind of containers also we'll be focusing on. And we'll be talking about the Kubernetes services. So we have different Kubernetes services like cluster IP, node port, load balancer, headless service, external DNS. Like this, we have different Kubernetes services. So that is also something which we are going to focus. And as part of the services, we'll be focusing on labels and selectors concept in Kubernetes. What are labels? What are selectors? When we'll use labels, when we'll use selectors, those things also will be focusing. And that labels and selectors implementation, we'll do it in the Kubernetes controllers. So we have replication controller, replica set, daemon set, stateful set, deployment. Like this, we have different things as Kubernetes controllers. So we'll be talking about those controllers individually, each and everything. Okay. And we'll also be talking about the scheduling of pods. Okay, scheduling of pods. Let's say we can schedule the pods using node selector, node affinity, pod affinity. All these things we are going to focus. And we'll also be talking about tails and tolerations. Again, this is not so popular in the real-time market because we got the advanced features like node selector, node affinity, anti-affinity, pod affinity. But anyway, we'll be talking about that as well. And then we'll be talking about the Kubernetes deployments as well. So specifically here we have different types of deployments, like let's say recreate, rolling update, blue-green deployment, canary deployment. Like this, we have different types of Kubernetes deployments. So we'll be doing a couple of projects on blue-green deployment, rolling update and recreate also, and we'll be understanding the differences between them. And we'll see which one is used for what use case. That is also something which you are going to learn. And then we'll be talking about the config maps and secrets. Very, very important thing in Kubernetes, config maps and secrets. And we'll also talk about the storage classes. Just like in AWS, we have storage classes. In Kubernetes also, we have the storage classes. So that concept also will be focusing on what are the different types of storage classes that we have and types of volumes provisioning. In Kubernetes, we have volumes, Kubernetes volumes. So specifically PV and PVC we have. So we'll see static volume provisioning, dynamic volume provisioning, how to attach an EBS volume to a pod, how to create a custom volume, and how to claim that volume, how to claim the storage. All these things we'll be focusing on. And then we'll be talking about the stateful set. Very, very important again. And we'll be talking about Kubernetes RBAC concept and static pod, which is again the most important thing, static pod and cron jobs. So it comes under scheduling only, Kubernetes scheduling only, but this one I'm specifically going to talk as it has its own importance. And then we'll be talking about the probes in Kubernetes, specifically the liveness probe and readiness probe. Okay, liveness probe and readiness probe we'll be talking about. And we'll be talking about auto scaling in Kubernetes. And that's the main important thing in Kubernetes. The reason why we have switched to Kubernetes, the primary reason is because of the auto scaling. So we'll talk about auto scaling in Kubernetes. Specifically, we'll be focusing on HPA, that is a horizontal pod auto scaler. We have VPA also, but VPA has nothing to do in the real-time scenarios. It's only the HPA that plays an important role. And then we'll be talking about the ingress controller, where we are going to focus on path-based routing, IP-based routing, or port-based routing. I'm not sure how many of you have watched my recent YouTube video where I have deployed an application using ingress controller. Kindly please mute. I'll just complete this and then
we have auto scaling groups in AWS also, right? We will be using them or
yes. We'll be using AWS auto scaling and Nginx also.
Okay.
Right. So once we talk about ingress controller, then we'll be talking about Helm also. So what is Helm? How this package manager will act, how to use the Helm. All of these things will be focusing in the Kubernetes as well. And then we'll be talking about the monitoring part. So specifically, I'm going to focus on Prometheus and Grafana. Okay, Prometheus and Grafana as the monitoring tools. And then the GitOps approach also we are going to use, which is basically the Argo CD, how to do the deployments using Argo CD. Because when you do the Kubernetes related deployments, we don't straight away depend on Jenkins. Yeah, Jenkins is a CI/CD tool, but when you do the deployments related to the Kubernetes, we always go with Argo CD. Okay, we always go with Argo CD. There are other alternative tools for Argo CD as well, but we would try to prefer Argo CD on a large scale. Okay, so these are the few things that you are going to learn in Kubernetes. I might have missed out maybe a few things. If you know, Kubernetes is not a small thing, it's an ocean. But whatever the most important elements, I have figured it out here and I have listed out here. If there is anything that is missed, that will be included, obviously. Okay, right. And then coming to the projects that you are going to do here in Kubernetes. So here we are going to do a couple of projects. One, we are going to do it on blue-green deployment. Okay, one we are going to do it on blue-green deployment, and the other one you are going to do it on ingress controller. Okay, blue-green deployment and ingress controller. And then we are going to deploy a Paytm clone application. Okay, Paytm clone application and Netflix application as well. Okay, Netflix application, Amazon Prime application, that also we are going to see. So here Paytm clone is basically a microservices application. So we'll have multiple microservices and we'll deploy that application using a ingress controller. And then we will see how to access that application. Okay, and we'll be integrating Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes here. Okay, we'll be doing a project. Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes. So when I say Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes, don't think only these three tools will be used. Obviously, we have to use GitHub. We have to use build tools such as Maven. If it's a Java project, we have to use the code quality analysis tools. So those things also we have to use. Okay, so this is about the entire content related to the Kubernetes. Okay, these are the most important things that will be discussed in the Kubernetes along with the projects. And the next one that we are going to focus is the Terraform. Terraform. So here, Terraform, again, we'll be talking about introduction to Terraform, Terraform architecture. Introduction to Terraform. We'll see the differences between CloudFormation and Terraform. Why we don't prefer CloudFormation? Why do we prefer Terraform in the real-time scenarios? And we'll also talk about the architecture of a Terraform architecture. And we'll see how to do the installation of Terraform on Windows, that is on local system, and on EC2 instances, both the Amazon Linux and Ubuntu. And we'll understand the basic commands that are there in the Terraform, and we'll write the Terraform scripts to create multiple resources. Here, Terraform, as I said, will be focusing with respect to AWS Cloud. So I'll just keep it as Terraform with AWS to be specific. So Terraform scripts we are going to write, and we are going to create the resources like S3 bucket, EC2 instances, VPC, IAM roles, IAM users. These basic things we are going to learn. And then we'll be talking about what is meant by TF state file, how to secure a TF state file, log file, all those things we'll be focusing. And then we'll talk about the Terraform variables. And here also we have a concept called taints and tolerations that also we'll be seeing. And then Terraform locals, Terraform workspaces, okay, and how to secure a state file, what is meant by log file, those things also will be focusing. Terraform provisioners, that's also something which we are going to learn. Modules, data sources. I'm not sure how many of you are aware, but these are all things will be discussed it on a large scale. And we'll be talking about Terraform Vault also. Okay, so these are the few things that you are going to learn in the Terraform. And coming to the projects here. So the first project that you are going to do is we'll integrate Jenkins with Terraform. Okay, Jenkins with Terraform. And we'll also integrate Jenkins with Terraform in another use case also. So two projects we are going to do. And along with these two projects, you are also going to automate the infrastructure creation. So I'll just call it as mini project 1 and mini project 2. Okay, the reason why I'm calling mini project is I'm not going to integrate Jenkins here, because integrating Jenkins and Terraform, we are going to do two projects. Just by using Terraform, we'll see how to create a custom VPC, how to launch an EC2 instance in that custom VPC. Like that scenario, I just call them as mini projects 1 and mini project 2. So this is the complete details about the course content related to Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, and Terraform. And coming to the registration or coming to the other details, not registration, other details, let me talk about that. Coming to the things like, let's say the projects. So a total of almost 15 plus projects you are going to do. Okay, that's my guarantee. And that is something which you are going to do. 15 plus projects you are going to do, both a 1-tier architecture project, 2-tier architecture, 3-tier architecture projects. Okay, so all of those things you are going to do. So that's my guarantee that 15 projects you are going to do. And some projects will be coming to you as an assignment. Some projects will be doing in the sessions itself. Complete documentations will be provided related to the projects. All of those things will be provided. And coming to the recorded sessions and lecture notes. Okay, so the recorded sessions will be provided on the day itself. Let's say today, if we complete the session before 12 o'clock in the midnight, 90% of the times I'll share the recorded sessions before the day ends. By any chance, if there is any emergency from my end, most probably by next day, I'll be sharing the recorded sessions. Along with recorded sessions, lecture notes will also be provided. Whatever notes that I'm going to follow, that notes will also be given to you. Okay, you can also access the recorded sessions and lecture notes. By any chance, if you miss out the live session, you can watch the recorded session and you can get the notes as well. And the validity will be lifetime validity. Okay, validity will be, you can access the recorded sessions and the lecture notes, which has a lifetime validity. So there is no problem with that aspect as well. And coming to the registration, okay, coming to the registration details. So if you want to register for this training program, however, today and tomorrow, that is 7th and 8th August, demo sessions will be there. Okay, today's session is all about discussing the curriculum. In tomorrow's session, we'll do one project. Okay, that's something which I'll let you know in some time. So today and tomorrow, free demo sessions are there, so you can join them as you have used the same link, whatever link that you have used to join today's session. The same link will also be used for tomorrow's session as well. So you can join the tomorrow's session using the same link. And I hope you all have received the email from my end regarding the meeting link, WhatsApp group, and a couple of other details. So if you haven't received the email, so please keep your email in the chat box. I'll note that at the end of the session, and I'll be sending you the emails as well. So from 10th August, okay, from 10th August, regular sessions will happen, which are live sessions. Okay. Now, if you want to get the meeting link from the 10th August sessions, which are basically the live sessions, you need to do the registration. Now, as you know, the fee for this training program is 6,000 rupees, and it is completely a one-time payment only. So kindly don't ask for payment at an installments kind. So it's a very minimal fee. So please pay it at a one-time stretch itself. Fee is 5,000 rupees. Okay, and you can pay the fee to this number, which you are seeing it on the screen. Okay, so you can do either PhonePe or you can do Google Pay as well. Okay, PhonePe or Google Pay. And once you do the payment, so please send the payment screenshot. Okay, payment screenshot. Along with screenshot, I need your name, email ID, and WhatsApp number so that I can add you in the dedicated WhatsApp group. And the last date for registration is 10th August. Okay, 10th August before 10 a.m. The reason why before 10 a.m. is because on 10th August, we'll have the session at 5 o'clock in the evening. So if you make the payment just before the session, it will be clumsy and you have to message me. I may not be able to see the message. I'll be in a hurry because of some other things or something like that. So please complete your payment before 10th August and you can pay to the number which you are seeing it on the screen. And once you do the payment, please send the screenshot, name, email ID, and WhatsApp number to the same number, whatever number that you are seeing on the screen, to the same number. I have a WhatsApp, so you can send a WhatsApp message. Okay. And I want to tell you one more thing, which is what are the other tools that I am going to cover as part of this training program. Okay, I'll just call it as add-ons. So along with Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, and Terraform, you are also going to learn about Nexus. You are also going to learn about SonarQube, okay, where we do the code quality analysis, and OWASP, Privy. These are security related tools, and Docker Scout image analysis. So these additional tools you are going to learn. Along with that, you are also going to learn Maven as well. Tomorrow's session, we'll be talking about Maven only. Maven, Tomcat, Nginx. Nginx and Tomcat are web servers. Maven is a build tool. So I'll just keep it in the next slide for your convenience. So tomorrow's session, we'll be doing one project using Maven and Tomcat. So we'll see how to build a Java project using a build tool, which is known as Maven, and how to deploy that application into the Tomcat web server. So complete details about Maven and Tomcat will be discussed in tomorrow's session. Okay, so these are the additional tools that will be covered as part of this training program. Okay, these are the add-ons which I thought of mentioning, but I forgot. Okay, so these are the few details. Now, if you want me to show the complete curriculum, so the detailed curriculum is provided here. So this one, I'll be sharing it through the emails also. So whoever has registered and whoever has got the email today, so to the same emails, you'll be getting this detailed curriculum also. You can see Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, and Terraform that is related to batch 6. So you'll be getting the detailed curriculum. Okay, whatever that I have listed here, that's on a large scale I have discussed, but in-depth curriculum is provided here. So you can see Jenkins, what all I'm going to cover in each module, what are all the things that I'm going to cover. Everything will be, whatever that is provided here, it will be discussed. Okay, well, every point that is included here, it will be discussed as part of your live training and also as part of your assignments. Okay, you can see the complete details here. So this thing I'll be sharing it to all your email IDs. So this is related to the Kubernetes part. I'm just scrolling down because these are the things which I have discussed now, but not in depth. Okay, and then Terraform also you can see the complete details. And finally, the add-ons, as I just said, Maven, you're going to learn SonarQube, Nexus, Tomcat, Nginx, Privy, OWASP, Docker Scout image analysis. Those things also you're going to learn. These are additional things which you're going to learn as part of this training. And these are the projects that you are going to do it in the sessions as well as in the as an assignments part. So a total of 20 projects you are going to do, which is more than sufficient to gain an in-depth knowledge about each and every tool. Okay, 20 different projects related to 20 different scenarios you are going to learn. Not all projects are same. We have different scenarios. Okay, so this is the complete thing about this training, and these are the registration details. Okay, if you are not from India, the fee is $80 US. So those who are not from India, you can just message me on WhatsApp. I'll share you the PayPal link so that you can do the payment on that one. And the complete duration of the course will be 40 to 45 days, working days. Again, not including holidays, excluding holidays, 40 to 45 days. And the sessions will be from Monday to Friday. And the timings of the sessions will be 5 o'clock in the evening to 6:30 in the evening, as per Indian Standard Time. And every session will be a live session only. There won't be any recorded sessions. Recorded videos will be provided to you, but all the sessions, whatever that we are going to discuss, they all will be live sessions and they are all recorded, and the recorded videos also will be shared to you. And additional benefits what you are going to get from this training is, as I said, weekly tasks will be given as you have seen here. So every week you are going to get a task, or every 3 days once or 4 days once you'll be getting the task. Mock interviews will be conducted, one-to-one mock interviews, and that mock interviews will be conducted at the end of training, because not at the beginning, at the end of the training. Once we complete Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, and Terraform, everyone who are going to register for this training program, they can attend the mock interviews. We'll have a detailed schedule about that, and then we'll be going through the mock interviews. And there will be a dedicated WhatsApp group as well, so that you can discuss among yourself, so that your friends will get to know. And in that WhatsApp group itself, the job notifications, whatever that I come across through LinkedIn, Naukri, or any other details, those things also will be shared in that same WhatsApp group. And the creating the LinkedIn or resume creation guidance, those things also will be provided, and your resume will be seen and will be given the proper feedback, so that you can prepare your resumes according to your according to the industry requirements. The job guidance, when I say job guidance, it is not about the job guarantee. It is just a guidance, like telling you where the openings are there. If there are any chances of giving you the chance to get into a job, I'll try my best to give some recommendations or something like that. Okay, or recommendations or references, you can say. But again, this is not a job guarantee program. I'm not going to guarantee you that if you complete this training program, I'll only be keeping you in the company. No, that guarantee I cannot give, and nobody else can give. And even if somebody is giving also, I strongly tell that don't trust, because nobody can give you job guarantee. It is all about making you learn the concepts at an in-depth level, and then preparing to attend the interview so that you will crack the jobs. Okay, that's something which I want to tell. So if you have any questions, or if you want to ask any questions during the registration or after the registration, so you can message me on WhatsApp using the number which you are seeing it on the screen. And apart from Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, and Terraform, as I said, in batch 5, I have also completed Ansible and Terraform. So since they have asked, the previous batch students, they have asked, so I have included Ansible and Terraform for them. But Terraform, however, it will be there for you as a live session itself. But those who wants to listen to the Ansible sessions, so Ansible, let me show you the Ansible content which I have seen, which I have discussed for the previous batch. You can see this is batch 5. So 6 days of Ansible sessions were discussed, and this is the complete content of the Ansible. Those who wants to get the recorded videos of this batch 5, which was completed on June 21st, just 1 month or roughly around 1.5 month old. So you can get the recorded videos of this one. The Ansible sessions will be available at a price of 1,500 rupees, 1500. So those who want Ansible sessions, so you can pay 1,500 rupees to the same same number, that is this one. Let me show you that once again. This number. So I want you to take the screenshot of this particular screen so that you will be getting to know. So Ansible sessions total, I think 9 hours I have covered. Yeah, 9 hours of content I have covered, so that you can look into these videos at your own pace. If you don't have an idea about Ansible, if you have an idea about Ansible, that's fine. No issues with that. So before I take your questions, let me show you one last thing, and then you're free. I'll take your questions. So this is actually the feedback form from the batch 5. So there were almost 57 students has joined batch 5. Okay, out of 55, I have just I'm just giving you a few of the feedbacks. Okay, so you can see the proper feedbacks which were given by the students itself. Don't think that I have kept only the feedbacks which were good. No, it consists of every good feedback as well as bad feedbacks also. Luckily, I didn't get any bad feedback, and I was not getting any bad feedbacks from the past 5 years of my training experience. So you can see the complete their opinions also. You can see the last column that you are seeing here. This is about their genuine feedback. These are all ratings and ratings, so that's fine. But these things you can see it. I'll just scroll down. Okay, so you can see, although the training was originally planned for 1 month, it was extended for 1 month and 15 days, so that the complete content was covered. Okay, and you can also see the detailed feedback here, just to make you aware that how the training will goes and how the concepts will goes. These are again genuine feedbacks. You can see the timestamp, dates, and time also. And you can see the names of the participants as well. These are all the people who has joined in the previous batch. Okay, right. So this is about this particular session. If you have any questions, feel free to ask any questions that you may have. Yeah, I'm open to your questions now.
Yeah,
Any
Kiran,
questions
myself,
for anyone?
yeah. Myself, Raju, and I'm a working employee in testing field.
Okay.
Earlier, I have learned, but I could not get much knowledge due to some reasons. I have gone through your YouTube videos and all, so I got some confidence on me. The thing is there any change of batch timings? Like my office timings are from 9 to 5. If I want to join your session 5 to 6, 5 to 6:30, maybe I have to skip from second half from the office.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
understand.
yeah, that is my worry. And 1 hour, 20 days or 2 weeks I can manage. But 45 days, that is very difficult. Is there any change? Otherwise, I will manage myself for 40 days. Just asking.
Yeah. I'll tell you what is my current schedule so that you will have an answer for yourself. See, my office routine will start from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock, like roughly around 4:30, 4:45 it will be done. And from 5 o'clock to 6:30, I have this batch, which I'm taking now, batch 6. And from 8 o'clock to 10:30, I have another batch for another institute. So, and in the morning from 5:30 to 7:30, I have another batch. So this is actually my current schedule. So if I shift the batch timing, obviously it will be very difficult, and I have to rush the situation. So which I don't want to. I have to tell in a peaceful way, so that both the students as well as myself should get benefited from both points. So I don't think the timings of this batch will be altered, but I'll see that if most people comes up with that opinion, then I'll see whether half an hour can be pushed further or not. But as of now, you please keep it in mind that it will be from 5 to 6:30. But once after the complete registration is done, maybe on Monday's session or on Tuesday's session, mostly by Monday, I'll be getting to know how many have been registered. Then we'll see in the WhatsApp group itself. I'll just ask, or in the live session itself, I'll just ask, so that if most people comes up with, let's say instead of 5 o'clock, let's say at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, if they're going with that, then that's fine for me. No issues with that.
Yeah, sure, Varun. If there is any chance only, you can try. Otherwise, you can ignore. But anyhow, I will join.
Sure.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions for anyone?
Kiran, how much coding knowledge is required for this? Like in a Kubernetes, we will use YAML, right?
Yeah.
Manifest files, right?
Everything related to the YAML files, Terraform scripts, Jenkins file will be discussed in the session itself. You don't need to have any knowledge. That's my duty. I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you talk about Python coding and all that code, Python related coding, I'm not going to discuss. Whatever that is essential for writing a Kubernetes YAML files, writing Terraform files, writing Jenkins files, writing Docker files, that is my duty. I'll discuss in the live sessions itself. That's from basic to the advanced level. I'll be focusing.
Yeah, in the Jenkins also we need to pipeline scripts there, right?
Yes.
We won't need to write one, or we need to.
Yeah. We'll be writing on our own only. Everything I'll be writing on my own in the session, in the live session itself, so that you'll get to know how to write that.
Yeah, hi Kiran.
Hi.
Can you discuss webhooks also in Jenkins?
Yes. Yeah. We'll be discussing.
Yeah, one more question, Kiran. Currently, I'm working in Azure DevOps side. If I take this course, can I put this project for AWS as well for next organization?
Yes, you can. Yes, if you have,
Actually, I'm working
I'm
on.
not. Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
Actually, I'm working with Azure DevOps side. So if I take this course, can I put these projects for next AWS? Can I add these projects?
Yes,
like,
definitely. And one more thing is, like, if you have come across my YouTube channel, all of the projects which are there on my YouTube, they're all AWS related projects only. So you can do those projects, and you can keep those projects in your resumes as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't keep the exact projects. Like, let's say I have a project related to Book My Show application. So don't tell that I have deployed Book My Show application. You keep something like I have worked on e-commerce application.
Okay. So can I add both the projects?
Or the tools?
So
whatever that in the videos, whatever tools that I have discussed, those tools you can include. Like, let's say instead of keeping it like I have deployed a Book My Show application, you can either keep it as I have deployed a Book My Show clone application. That's actually a better one. Or otherwise, you can just tell that I have worked on healthcare application, and these are the tools that I have used in that project, and this is how the workflow was there in the project. That way also you can do.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions for anyone?
Yeah, Kiran, one more thing. Prometheus and Grafana also we will cover on this training.
Yes. Monitoring is very much important.
Yeah, actually, Kiran, one more question. Actually, saw your video on YouTube actually recently. Ingress controller.
Yes.
In that video, it didn't discuss as much Ingress controller in depth and that.
Yes. Because that is only a project related thing. So in the project, I don't discuss the concepts, thinking that the concept is already known. But in the sessions, the concept will be discussed. However, I think in the first 10-15 minutes, I have discussed what is Ingress controller, types of Ingress controllers, those things. But in-depth content, I could not discuss because that's primarily focused on the project itself, not on the concept.
Will you explain complete details with YAML also?
Yes. Yeah, we are going to write our own YAML files.
Okay. Like Prometheus and Grafana also we'll discuss, right? Complete basic from basic to
how to set up Prometheus, how to set up Grafana, how to set up the dashboards, how to import the dashboards, how to monitor the Jenkins server, how to monitor the EC2 instances. Those things will be discussed.
Application metrics, and also we can cluster level metrics also we can.
Yes. Pod monitoring, those things also will be.
Okay. Thanks.
Saif, the sessions will start from, the live sessions will start from 11th August. I forgot, I mentioned it as 10th August, but the live sessions will start from 11th August. That is on Monday. So the last date for registration is 10th August. Before 7 p.m. in the evening, you please register. Those who wants to register. 10th August is Sunday. From 11th August, 5 o'clock in the evening, regular sessions will happen. Saif, I hope I'm clear for you. Will we be able to see the videos after the course? Yes, George, as I said, the videos will be available for you for a lifelong. So I'll be giving you the access. So you can access the videos completely lifelong.
Hello.
Is there any morning batch? Yeah, just a second, Nishant. Is there a morning batch? No, sorry, there is no morning batch because morning I'm already allocated with another training institute. Yeah, Nishant, you can go.
Yeah, Kiran, in a session, we are doing a complete one project. Means all tools are using Jenkins, Kubernetes, Terraform.
Yes.
Okay, that's
so whenever I go with projects, the session might extend for half an hour extra. Obviously, in 1.5 hours we cannot finish the projects, but yeah, whatever projects that I have mentioned, we'll be integrating with Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, and then GitHub, Maven, Trivy, OWASP. These kind of projects we'll do, integrating multiple tools.
I got some idea how to deploy.
Okay. May I know if the recordings will be available after that? Yes, Ankita, as I said, let's say that regularly the classes will happen from 5 o'clock to 6:30 in the evening. Before 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock on the same day, you will be getting the recorded videos access, including the notes.
Yeah, Kiran, for last one.
Yeah, go on.
So for every project, will you provide step guide to execute the project?
Documentation will be provided.
Okay.
Just like how if all of you have come across my YouTube videos, for every YouTube video there is a dedicated documentation, like how to install, how to do the things. In the same way, for every project you will be getting the documentation.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And also we will cover like in the time of project execution, what type of issues we will face on it. Also that topic
troubleshooting also will be.
That is
if any
thing.
error, if any error comes, we'll be doing it in the live session itself, and we'll be seeing how to troubleshoot them by using ChatGPT, by using Gemini, or if we get to know then and there itself, we'll just do it on our own. If you are unable to crack and if the session is going more than the extended time, then obviously we have to use some tools and we have to crack it.
So do we have any other tools for monitoring other than Prometheus?
Yeah, we have ELK, EFK.
Okay.
These things are also there. Yeah, Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana.
Okay.
Datadog also, right?
Sorry?
Datadog.
Datadog, it won't be discussed in the sessions, but if required, I'll see. I'll see that because I have not included as part of this curriculum. If time permits, I'll do that. Or otherwise, at least I'll try to make a video on to YouTube and I'll upload it to YouTube by the end of this month.
Oh.
Maximum, what kind of services will be using in the AWS?
AWS will be using EC2. That's the primary thing because we have to launch EC2 instance to do anything. And then we'll be creating an S3 bucket because to store artifacts or to store Terraform state files or log files, we'll use S3 buckets to store them. And mostly we'll use IAM roles, IAM policies. S3, IAM, EC2. These three are more than sufficient. VPC and all, that's a basic thing. Like when you create an EKS cluster, automatically in the backend, VPC will get created, CloudFormation stacks will get created. That we don't need to have any.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do we install these monitoring tools?
Everything on the cloud.
EC2 itself.
Yes. Nothing will be done on the local system. The local host, that is the laptops, because when we work in the real-time scenarios, we don't do anything in the local host. So we'll do everything in the cloud. So everything will be focused with respect to cloud.
Also, do we need to have any domains like DNS?
If you want to have, you can have it, but it's up to your requirement.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not required. As of now, it's not required. If there is a requirement, I'll let you know. Very soon, I'll be doing one project. For this batch alone, I'll be doing one project, which is something related to custom domain. Actually, I have made one project on AWS 3-tier architecture. If you have come across my YouTube channel, there I have talked about how to create a custom domain, how to do the routing policies and all those things. But with related to DevOps also, I'll try to do one project.
Okay.
Just a second. Saif has asked there will be pre-built projects, so we'll practice on that project for deployments, etc. So that project will provide to use for practice ourselves. Yeah. Saif, yeah, some kind of projects I'll be giving you the documentation, and by seeing the documentation, you are going to implement. Any other questions for anyone? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if you don't have any questions, so please join tomorrow's session using the same link. And in tomorrow's session, we'll be talking about Maven and deployment of a small scale application onto the Tomcat web server without using Jenkins and all. We'll see manual deployment process in tomorrow's session. So any questions before I close? Okay, then. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. I hope to see you all in the tomorrow's session also. This session link will be uploaded to YouTube. You can check that link. I'll be sending you an email about this particular video link. You can check it through that link. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. We'll meet in tomorrow's session.